Yo guys, Ben here again from Bodyfit Academy. Welcome back to the top 7 ways to get fat mini series. We're on video number 5 today. So here's tip number 5. Eat processed and toxic food. Now, you want to basically stick to foods that your body treats as toxic because overwhelming your body with toxic food, basically too much that it can't actually handle, will actually ensure that you pile on the pounds very, very easily and very quickly. Okay? So here's just a few things that you can add in today to actually kickstart and really boost your weight gain just to get fat literally overnight. Okay? So number 1 is processed food. So anything with a big massive list on the nutrients label, on the food label, especially things that have got names on there that you can't pronounce, things that have basically had things added in like preservatives, things that are going to increase the shelf life, things that are just not really what they're supposed to be. In terms of, an apple's not really an apple if it's applesauce. Okay, I hope that makes sense. You might have heard me say that before. So processed food's a big one, especially things that are sold from slimming clubs. Okay, they're excellent processed foods. Anything that you microwave really. So get onto that stuff and overwhelm your body with some toxins. Next one up is sugar, so make sure you're consuming plenty of sugar. If you want, you can even eat it straight out the packet, dissolve it in some water. That's going to basically help you pile on the pounds really, really quickly. Sugar's in plenty of foods nowadays, so you don't have to massively go out your way to get sugar in. Plenty of takeaways and fast food, restaurants, things like that will have them in. Obviously, you've got sweets, cakes, biscuits. It's in pretty much everything nowadays, you can't really avoid it. So make sure you get plenty of sugar in. Add it to your teas. So forget teaspoons. Make sure you get tablespoons or dessert spoons with sugar in, just to actually pile on the pounds and get fat. Caffeine, another big one. Make sure you're getting plenty of caffeine. So if you're having 2 or 3 cups of coffee or tea a day, double that, treble it. Make sure you get plenty of caffeine in. It's going to get you wired. It's going to mess your sleep up. It's going to get you storing a lot of body fat because caffeine, if you're really having excess levels of that and basically having chronically elevated levels of caffeine, you're going to promote fat storage around the stomach. Alcohol is another great one for that as well. So for storing fat around your stomach and your love handles. Binge on that stuff as much as you can. Obviously doing this every night might not be something that's convenient, so make sure you get at least 1 night a week where you binge on alcohol. That's going to make sure you get a lot of fat stored really, really easily. It's also going to obviously stimulate your appetite for junk food, so you're on a winner there. So you're going to eat some more junk food, and you're almost naturally going to crave that anyway. So wheat and gluten, another really good one. A lot of people have had IBS symptoms from eating wheat and gluten as well. It's been heavily linked. It's also another good way to basically have horrible skin and basically increase your weight gain. So make sure you keep that in your diet. It's gonna help you keep the fat you've already got. So make sure you don't take that out. So dairy is another big one as well. Make sure that you don't cut out dairy. Make sure you consume plenty of dairy, because dairy is actually a really good way to get fat, or to at least keep the fat that you've got, because a lot of cows nowadays especially are pumped full of hormones and antibiotics to stop them getting sick because of the grass they're eating, because of all the fertilizer on there. They're hormones that they're pumped with to make them fat is passed through to their milk that they produce, which obviously, if it's used for making cheese, if it's used for the actual milk that you use for your cereals and things like that, then obviously it's a good way to get fat because you're consuming all these toxic antibiotics and hormones, okay? Which, while we're on that subject, cereals are an excellent way to get fat. Not bothered which they are, whether it's Special K, whether it's Frosties, cornflakes, anything you want. Nearly all cereals are an excellent way to get fat, or at least to stop you burning any fat, okay? So make sure you have cereals, and that's one of my top tips to actually get fat. Tap water is another good one as well. The amount of chemicals in tap water nowadays is insane, so make sure you're consuming plenty of toxics in the form of tap water. Depending what area you live in, some is a little bit worse than others, but just go for the tap water anyway. Avoid that bottled water that's going to be clean. Just make sure you get the tap water in, okay? Obviously, it's got some hormones in there as well, just traces that can actually mess up with fat loss. So it's going to help with your fat gain. So that's pretty much it for video number 5. Make sure that you get on that and take all them tips and use them all. You can start implementing most of that stuff today. Make sure that you don't go too long without eating all this processed stuff, because otherwise, obviously, you're going to start losing fat instead of gaining it. So that's it for video number 5. Keep your eyes peeled for video number 6, and I'll speak to you soon.